Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my recipe for Parsad. Now if you remember way back when I first started my channel, I shared this recipe with you guys, and a lot of you all complained that the camera was too far away from the food, and I totally agree with you guys. So I wanted to make sure for this Diwali holiday that you had the perfect Parsad recipe on hand, so I redid this recipe for you guys. So if you want to see how I put together this delicious recipe, make sure you keep on watching. I also wanted to mention that this is going to be a collaboration with Reshmi over A Taste of Trini, so make sure you go ahead and check out her channel when you're done watching my video, and you're going to see how she makes her delicious Parsad. I can't wait to see how she puts it together, so let's go ahead and get into the recipe.
The ingredients that I'm going to need for my Parsad today is some ghee, and if you wanted to, you could use butter instead of the ghee, or you could use a combination of butter and ghee together, but it's totally up to you. I also have some granulated sugar. If you wanted to, you could use brown sugar. You could use a combination of both. It's not going to make much of a difference. I also have some milk here. I'm using evaporated milk. If you wanted to, you could use a combo of whole milk as well as the evaporated milk, or one or the other. It's not going to make a difference as well. It's up to your preference. I also have some cardamom or elychee. This is the ground version. I have some maraschino cherries that I've gone ahead and chopped up, as well as some raisins. And whenever I make sweets like Parsad or lapsi or anything like that, I like to soak my raisins at least 20 minutes prior to cooking, so this way those raisins can reconstitute with water and they won't burst when you put it into the mixture. And I also have my flour. The first step when making the Parsad is to heat up your milk mixture. So into a small pot here, I'm adding in all of my milk. As I said, you can go ahead and use whole milk for this instead of the evaporated or a combination. And I'm also going to go in with my sugar. And we're just going to mix that up. And I have my heat on a medium heat right now. I'm going to let this come up and start to bubble just a little bit. But once it starts to get hot, I'm going to turn off the heat and I'm going to put it to the side. My milk mixture has been on a medium heat for about 3 minutes now. And all of that sugar is dissolved and it started to smoke up just a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it to my back burner and I'm going to put it on the lowest heat possible. Or if your stove is still really hot, you can keep it off. You just want to keep this hot on the side, so this way when it's time to add it in, it absorbs properly into your Parsad. So I moved my heated milk to my back burner and I put it on the lowest heat possible just so I could keep it warm while I'm making the rest of the Parsad. So into my heavy bottom pot here, I'm going in with all of my ghee, and you're just going to go ahead and let this ghee melt. Now my heat is on a medium heat. When you're parching your flour and doing this step, you do not want to put it above a medium heat or else it will start to burn really quickly. So once this ghee melts, I'm going to come back and show you guys what we do next. So at this point, all of my ghee has melted and it's heated up just a little bit. Remember I said my heat is still on a medium heat. And at this point, I'm going to go in with all of my flour. And for this recipe, I'm using all-purpose flour. Once you add in the flour, you're just going to start to mix right away. And you see that slight sizzle that I got when I added my flour in? That's what you want. You do not want it to be vigorously sizzling or else it can start to burn though. So as you guys can see, when I added my flour into the hot ghee, it was not too thick to stir. It's nice and loose enough for me to stir. Of course, it's a little thick because remember the flour is not cooked yet. But I wanted to mention that if it's way too thick and it's hard to stir and it's too crumbly, then you might want to add in a little more ghee. It just means that the flour that you bought might be a little dry than others. It also depends on the climate. Remember, flour, some brands tend to be moister than others, and the climate and the humidity will play a process in this as well. So you just want to watch out for that. You can go ahead and add in like a tablespoon or 2 more of ghee if this mixture is way too dry. But this is perfect for me. And I'll have all of my ingredients and the measurements in the description box down below. My rule of thumb when making Parsad is to parch the flour in the ghee for exactly 15 minutes. And after that 15 minutes, it's going to ensure that that raw flour taste is cooked out of the flour. But if you want a darker Parsad, you're going to have to cook it longer than 15 minutes. So this way you can achieve that dark color. Because after the 15 minutes, it's just going to be a golden color. So it depends on your color preference. But I'll show you guys after the 15 minutes what it looks like and what we're going to do from there. I wanted to mention that while your flour is parching, you need to keep stirring. Do not walk away from the pot at all. If you walk away, it can start to burn. And you cannot stop stirring because if you do, then some of the flour at the bottom can get trapped and start to catch or burn at the bottom. And if this mixture starts to get too dark too fast, then you're going to want to lower your heat substantially or move it off of the flame so it could cool down just for a second. My flour and ghee have been cooking on a medium-low heat for exactly 15 minutes at this point, and it's definitely cooked, and the way that I can tell is that the flour is what my grandmother calls loosey-loosey now. So as you guys can see, when we first put the flour and the ghee in the pot, it was a little more clumpy, it was definitely a whitish color, and it was a little hard to mix. But after this 15 minutes, the flour is nice and loose, it's very light as you're mixing it, and it's achieved a nice golden brown color. So at this point, if you wanted to, you could proceed, but I like my Parsad to be just a little darker than this color, so I'm probably going to let it cook for about 4 to 5 minutes. But again, if you wanted to proceed with this color and you like this color, then you can go ahead because the flour is definitely going to be cooked after that 15 minutes. I've been cooking my flour and ghee for an additional 5 minutes, so in total, my flour and ghee have been parching for exactly 20 minutes now. And look at that beautiful golden brown color. This is like the perfect color for Parsad that I think, and this is the way that I like to make my Parsad. So at this point, we're going to go in with our raisins. Now I drained off the water from the raisins, so we're going to add them in now. And they're going to just sizzle up a little bit because we had them soaking in that water. So you're going to stir it up and let those raisins get nice and plump. I don't know if you guys could see, but those raisins have turned into like little balls. They've plumped up perfectly, and it literally took 30 seconds. At this point, I'm going in with all of my elychee, so this way it can just release all of its natural flavor. And the house smells so good right now. The flour is parched to perfection. It has a beautiful nutty smell to it. It's amazing. So at this point, I'm also going to go in with my cherries. And I'm going to crank my heat all the way up to high. So once you added in those cherries and you get it mixed in, and that heat comes up to a high heat, we're going to start going in with all of our hot milk. And if you have kids in the kitchen, please be careful. Remove them from the kitchen because this will splatter up. And you want to keep it on a high heat so that milk can dissolve into the flour. And it's going to splatter a bit, so be careful. And you're going to keep stirring until it all comes together. And that's it, your Parsad is done. So I just took my Parsad off of the heat, and look at that beautiful color, and look how nice and fluffy that Parsad is. If it's dry and crumbly, then that means you did not add enough milk, but this is absolutely perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and dish it out and show you guys what the final product looks like. Alright guys, here is my finished Parsad. It looks so delicious. It came out so fluffy and so moist. Now, this is definitely my grandmother's recipe. She taught me how to make Parsad a while ago, and after a few trials and errors, I definitely perfected it over the years. And I'm just so proud that I get to carry on these recipes that my ancestors and my elders put into place. So it's really a special thing for me. So I want to wish you guys a happy Diwali. I hope your holiday is filled with joy. I hope you have a safe holiday. Make sure to eat something nice and sweet. I wish Mother Lakshmi's choicest blessings onto each and every one of you. And I hope that the new year brings everything you guys could ever wish for. Make sure you go ahead and try out this Parsad recipe. And I have a few other Diwali recipes on my channel you could try out as well. And I just really hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Before I leave, I wanted to mention that you guys need to go over to Reshmi's channel, Taste of Trini, when you're done watching this video, and go ahead and show her video for Parsad some love. I cannot wait to see how she makes her Trini version of Parsad. I know it's going to be a great one because she makes some awesome videos. So once again, I hope you guys enjoyed. Go ahead and give this video a nice big thumbs up in the spirit of the Diwali holiday. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed yet. And make sure you guys comment down below. Tell me what you guys' favorite Diwali sweet is. And tell me your thoughts on this recipe, or if you tried it, what you thought. I'll see you guys again next time with one of my awesome recipes. Until next time, guys. Bye.